Hello. I'm going to be talking about my empire today. So in one of my last videos, I talked about all these things that I'm declaring in the mighty name of Yeshua, and all these different goals that I'm having, because I think declaring them is a good thing. I think there's sometimes times in life, right, where we're not meant to declare and share our goals. We're meant to keep them within. We're meant to just ponder on them. But I feel like I am in an era right now of declaring. And so here I am. I'm declaring my goals before you all. And one of those goals, and I think I touched on it in that same video, is that I want an empire. In fact, I think that it is fate, destiny, if you will. It's not really a want, it's destiny, it's more fate. Yeah. And so, what does that mean, an empire? I think, for me, generational wealth and legacy are two very important things to me. I don't think people talk about it enough. I really don't. And then the people who are talking about it are sometimes the worst people out there. I'm thinking notably the Andrew Tates of the world. I don't know if he actually talks about generational wealth or legacy, but he seems like he'd be into generational wealth and legacy. And I do think a lot of the same type of guys that follow him generally are into talking about that, and they love the crypto and the stock market, and those things sound nice in theory. You know, I have my own thoughts on the stock market, but for me, an empire, I don't know if we're talking about the same type of empire. You know what I mean? I don't think we're talking about the same generational wealth and legacy. You know, I think that for them, or for a lot of people, generational wealth is mostly material, mostly financial wealth, and for me, that's, you know, definitely a part of it. And I'm not against materialism. There's degrees to materialism, I think. You know, there can definitely be excessive degrees of that. And if that's your main focus, is the materialism aspect, I think that your foundation doesn't have many grounds. It's based on this world, you know? And once this world crumbles and falls away, where are you? What do you have? I guess your children only have that. It's very living on this earth, and as though that is our only existence. It's very much that, I think, when we're focused too much on materialism and less on generational wealth and what that means and what that can encompass. It can encompass so many areas. Like, yes, financial's a great aspect of it when done right, when in the right hands, when used right, when taught correctly, how to use that generational wealth. But yeah, I mean, generational wealth to me is a lot of different things. It encompasses a lot. And materialism and financial wealth can be a big aspect of that for me. And for legacy for me is leaving something greater behind, something that can affect not just my lineage, but other lineages, other generations, other people. And that leads me into my empire. I really feel as though I am, and I know that I am, meant to have an empire one day, with whoever it is that I am made for, whoever is my partner in crime. I do feel as though we are meant to have an empire together. And it's just sort of, you know, that whole journey is kind of interesting too, because, you know, this is a complex topic, right? And it feels in a lot of ways very niche in a way. Similar to what I was saying before, like a lot of the people who do talk about this type of thing, they give me Andrew Tate vibes. You know what I mean? And that the people who are interested in Andrew Tate and living that type of lifestyle, they're not about this vibe. They're not about my vibe, and I'm not about their vibe. It goes both ways. We're not the same. As you can tell, my part of my wealth is my beloved Crazy Quilt, guys. I love her. I do. I love my Crazy Quilt so much. But going into the legacy and empire aspect of this, right? Like, for me, that is leaving something behind that is far greater than me and far greater than my generations even. I do believe that I'm going to have some sort of company, something that is going to help a lot of people long after I'm gone. Then my name is going to be just an echo, you know, in the ether of whatever this company is. And, you know, I do wonder if it will have something to do with mold toxicity. Although my relationship and my knowledge that I've been learning with the mold world, the mold toxicity world, the mycotoxin world is changing. It's changing. I at one point really felt so passionate about mycotoxin binders and them being this mostly cure-all. And I wanted that to be true. I did. I really wanted that to be it. But this go around trying the mycotoxin binders and having not just Herxheimer reactions, but then having all of April for me just being completely down, completely sick. I had the flu, some of the worst case of a flu that I've had, and it lingered the entire month of April. That is lost to time now, truly. And, you know, the mycotoxin binders, I think, did play a big role in me being out all of April. I really do. I think they didn't help me as much as I would have liked, and I was hoping for. And in the past, they've helped me. But I also did a number of different things. I was doing a number of different things. So, you know, who's to say if mycotoxin binders they do help a big deal, but I don't know if they are this cure-all. You know what I mean? I think I just was wishful thinking that I had this cure-all, or that I was given this knowledge. I am willing to try more. And I am going to be trying more soon. I'm going to be trying chlorella and spirulina at some point. But I don't know if that will be my empire, but something along those lines perhaps. And I do think that it's going to be something that is helpful, because that is at the root what is important to me. There are just so many things that have happened to me in my life. You know, being homeless really does something to you, right? Like not having a literal home to go to, not having any roots. In that moment, I really did feel quite literally like that metaphor of the moss, right? That I so often use, of living in your moss era, your moss moments of life. Some people talk about the winters of their life. I talk about the moss eras of your life, because the moss eras of our lives sometimes are this like these moments that teach us how to be small and live simply, and teach us the power in that. And the thing is with moss is they have very shallow roots, you know, and if it weren't for the trees surrounding them, they would be blown away by a gust of wind, you know. But in that moment, I really did feel like just this moss being carried away by wind somehow, even though they're supposed to be quite protected from it because of how small they are. I felt like almost that was my disadvantage in a way. It was rough, obviously, and so, you know, those type of things, they change you into, or at least for me they did, they changed me into feeling even deeper than I did before for my fellow man, and in a different way, in a new way. And it's like, I just, when I think about legacy, it's so hard to think about it in a way that is completely self-serving, you know, when the pain goes so far beyond my experience. And so sometimes it's so much, so other people's experiences are so much even worse or more tragic than what I even went through. And mine was pretty horrific. Also, mold toxicity was I don't say this lightly, but hell on earth, you know. So, yeah, I think an empire is in my destiny. I know it's in my destiny. And what that is, I'm not quite sure yet, but I am excited for it. And yeah, I think that's all I had to say on that today. Who knows where that will take me.